The alien Empress asked me, "Are you unattached human?" when she noticed. Captain Elias Trent had always been told that the edge of explored space was a lonely place. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction, distant and cold, with nothing but silence between them. Most humans would have felt small here, insignificant. But Elias never felt that way. He had spent his life flying through the void, mapping the unknown, and meeting the rare few species who had ventured far enough to see humanity. On this particular mission, his ship, the starward Voyager, glided smoothly through a sector near the Veil Nebula. Its blue and purple clouds of gas shimmered under the light of distant suns, painting the darkness in colors few humans had ever seen in person. Elias leaned back in his chair, hands clasped behind his head, enjoying the calm. He liked moments like this, where he could feel the hum of the ship's engines and the quiet of space wrap around him like a blanket. "Captain," said Lieutenant Mara Klein, his second-in-command, her voice breaking the stillness. "We've detected an unknown fleet approaching fast. Sensors indicate it's massive, possibly a war fleet." Elias frowned, standing immediately. "How massive?" Mara's fingers flew over the console. "Hundreds of ships, sir. We can't identify their origin. Their energy signatures are unusual, not human, not from any known friendly species." Elias ran his hand down his face, feeling the familiar mix of excitement and tension. "All right, alert the crew. Shields up, weapons ready. Let's see what they want." Within moments, the quiet hum of the ship was replaced by the low vibration of alert systems. The bridge was alive with activity. Crew members tapped at screens, confirmed calculations, and monitored the approaching fleet. Every eye was fixed on the main viewport, where dark shapes slowly emerged from the depths of space. Then, without warning, a single massive ship detached from the formation and accelerated toward them. Its hull was sleek and metallic, with curves that seemed almost organic and light patterns that shimmered across its surface. It moved with precision and grace, unlike any human or known alien technology. Elias swallowed. "Open a channel. Let's see if they want to talk." The screen flickered, and suddenly a figure appeared, unlike anything Elias had ever imagined. It was tall, taller than any human, with glowing eyes and skin that shimmered like liquid silver. Its presence was both majestic and intimidating, and even through a screen, Elias could feel the weight of authority radiating from it. "I am the Empress of the Lyrathi," the being said, its voice calm but resonant, echoing slightly as if it came from every direction at once. "You, human, have entered the borders of my domain. I wish to speak with you directly." Elias' mouth went dry. "This is an honor," he said, carefully choosing his words. "I am Captain Elias Trent of the United Earth Alliance. How may I—" The Empress interrupted him, tilting her head slightly, her luminous eyes studying him in a way that felt almost personal. "Are you unattached, human?" Elias froze, his mind spun. "Unattached? What does she mean by that?" I suppose," he said cautiously. "I mean, yes, I am not engaged to anyone, not married." There was a pause, a moment that stretched longer than it should have. Then the Empress spoke again, her voice softer but no less powerful. "Good, then you may accompany me to my ship. We will see if your qualities are worthy of what is to come." Elias blinked. "Accompany you?" "Yes," the Empress replied. "Prepare yourself, human. You will board my vessel willingly. Resistance is unnecessary." Before Elias could respond, a smaller craft detached from the massive ship and approached the starward Voyager. He watched, heart-pounding, as it docked perfectly, as if guided by thought alone rather than any human technology. The airlock opened, and a beam of light extended, waiting for him. Mara looked at him. "Captain," he nodded. "I go alone. Prepare for anything, Mara. Keep the ship ready." With a deep breath, Elias stepped into the beam, feeling a tingling sensation as he was lifted from his ship. When he opened his eyes, he was inside the Empress's ship, a space unlike anything human engineering had produced. The walls were smooth and curved, glowing faintly from the surfaces themselves. Light seemed to flow from nowhere, yet every corner was perfectly illuminated. The air was crisp and clean, yet carried a faint, almost floral scent that Elias couldn't place. The Empress was there, waiting. She stood at the far end of the chamber, tall and regal, her form reflecting the soft lights around her. She did not move toward him, but gestured slightly, indicating that he should approach. Elias stepped forward, feeling the weight of history and power pressing down on him. Every instinct told him to be cautious, yet he also felt a strange calm. Something about this being, this alien, inspired respect. And maybe he thought it was curiosity. "You may call me Empress Solara," she said, her voice carrying easily through the room. "I have watched your species for some time, human. Your people are remarkable." Elias hesitated. "Remarkable," he repeated. "I mean, I'm just one human, your majesty. What could I possibly?" Solara raised a hand, and suddenly images appeared in the air around them, projections showing human history, culture, exploration, and conflict. Wars fought, technologies invented, art created, civilizations risen and fallen. Elias watched as his own species' story unfolded, feeling a strange mixture of pride and humility. "You have survived, adapted, and thrived against odds that would have destroyed many other species," Solara said. "You have curiosity and courage in equal measure. But there is something more, something unique that I wish to understand. That is why I asked if you are unattached." Elias' mind raced. I still don't understand. Why does it matter?" Solara's eyes seemed to pierce through him. "Because qualities such as independence, focus, and freedom, qualities often tied to being unattached, will be tested in ways your species has not yet faced. You will be judged not just as a human, but as an individual. The trials ahead will require a mind unburdened by attachments." He nodded slowly. "I see. So this is a test." "In part," Solara said, stepping closer. Her presence was overwhelming yet strangely comforting. "But it is also an opportunity. I wish to know what makes humans special, and I intend to see it firsthand." Elias swallowed, feeling both fear and excitement. "Then I accept." Solara inclined her head almost imperceptibly, and the chamber shifted. Walls that had seemed solid now appeared to open, revealing a hallway lit by soft, flowing light. "Follow me, human. Your journey begins." As they walked, Elias looked around, trying to absorb everything. The smooth curves of the walls, the quiet hum of the ship's systems, the occasional glimmer of alien symbols etched into surfaces that seemed alive with energy. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, a testament to a civilization far beyond human understanding. "Tell me," Solara said after a moment, "do humans always face the unknown so willingly?" Elias shrugged, a small smile forming. "Not always. But sometimes, the unknown is the only way to know yourself." The Empress's eyes shimmered faintly, as if she considered this answer carefully. "Perhaps that is why I find your species intriguing." They arrived at a large chamber at the heart of the ship. It was vast, with high ceilings that seemed to disappear into shadows, and platforms that floated in midair without visible support. Solara stopped at the center and gestured for Elias to stand before her. "This is where your first challenge will take place," she said. "Not a battle of weapons, but of mind, courage, and understanding. Only then will I know if you are truly worthy." Elias' heart raced. "And if I fail?" Solara's expression was unreadable. "Then you return to your people and the chance is lost, but I do not expect failure. I have observed humans before. You are resilient." Resilient. Elias liked that. He had survived asteroid storms, hostile worlds, and deep space isolation. He could survive this too. "I am ready," he said, feeling a surge of determination. Solara inclined her head again, almost like a silent acknowledgement. "Then begin, human. Show me what makes you extraordinary." And as Elias stepped forward into the unknown chamber, he realized that his life had changed forever. He was no longer just a human captain exploring space. He was the first representative of his species in a test unlike any other, a challenge that could prove humanity's worth to an entire galaxy. For the first time, Elias felt the full weight of responsibility, not for himself, but for all of humanity. And deep down, he knew one thing for certain. Humans had never been ordinary, and they never would be. The chamber hummed with quiet energy as Captain Elias Trent took his first steps into the open space before the Empress. The walls seemed to ripple faintly, shifting colors like liquid glass, while floating platforms of unknown material hovered in midair. It was unlike any room he had ever seen, alien, beautiful, and slightly intimidating. Solara, the Empress, remained at the far end, her tall form bathed in soft light. "The first test begins now," she said. "This challenge will show whether you possess qualities that are rare in the galaxy: courage, creativity, and empathy. These traits will be necessary for what is to come." Elias took a deep breath. His heart pounded, but his mind cleared. He had faced danger before, and though this was different, he reminded himself. Humans survive by thinking, adapting, and trusting each other. "Describe the task," he said. Solara's eyes glowed slightly. In front of you are 3 doors, each leads to a different challenge. You may choose which one to enter first, but know this, your choices will matter. Some doors require intellect, some require courage, and some require compassion. Your ability to balance these qualities will be tested. Elias scanned the chamber. The 3 doors were unlike anything human engineering could produce. One shimmered with patterns of light that danced like flames. Another appeared solid, dark, and imposing, almost like polished stone. The last was faintly transparent, showing shapes that shifted inside as if the door led to a living space. He stepped closer to the first door, the one with dancing lights. As he approached, the lights pulsed faster, almost as if they were alive. A soft voice echoed in the room, though no speaker was visible. "Solve the pattern, human. See what others cannot." Elias frowned, studying the lights carefully. They formed sequences, almost like a puzzle, shifting constantly. He noticed that certain lights always followed the same rhythm while others were unpredictable. He focused, letting his mind track the patterns. Slowly, he began predicting the sequences, tapping on the glowing panels beside the door in time with the lights. Minutes passed, but the door remained locked. Then he remembered something humans excelled at: intuition. Patterns in nature, in society, and history often had exceptions. He reached out and touched a seemingly random light, and suddenly the entire sequence froze. A soft chime echoed, and the door slid open smoothly. Elias exhaled, stepping inside. The room beyond was smaller but filled with intricate machinery and floating holographic displays. Each display showed alien technology, symbols, and star charts he had never seen. His task was clear: arrange the displays to form a stable energy network that would power the room. He approached a floating hologram, analyzing its connections. The alien systems were complex, but he noticed a pattern: feedback loops that would stabilize if arranged in certain ways. Using logic, observation, and a little trial and error, he began to rewire the holograms. Each adjustment caused faint ripples of light to move across the room. After what felt like hours, the final display aligned perfectly. The machinery hummed, and a gentle warmth filled the room. A voice echoed, "Your intellect is sharp. You see connections that others cannot." "Well done, human." Elias stepped back, heart racing. One challenge completed, and he felt a spark of pride. But Solara's next words reminded him this was only the beginning. "Now courage," the Empress said. "The second door awaits." He turned to the dark, imposing door. A chill seemed to emanate from it, though the air was warm and still. The moment he touched it, he felt a subtle vibration, almost like a heartbeat. The door slid open, revealing a cavernous space with floating platforms suspended over an endless void. The platforms shifted unpredictably, and gaps between them seemed wider than any human could normally jump. Elias' stomach tightened. Fear is natural, he thought, but humans survive by acting even when afraid. He stepped onto the first platform. It wobbled slightly but held. He adjusted his weight, calculating the next jump. One by one, he moved across the platforms, balancing carefully, testing each step. Midway, a platform began to tilt dangerously. Elias paused, assessing the angles and timing, then leaped with precision, landing safely on the next stable platform. Halfway across, a sudden gust of energy swept through the room, pushing him back. He fell only to grab a ledge on the edge of a platform. Heart-pounding, he pulled himself up. The room seemed to test not only his physical skill, but also his determination and calm under pressure. Finally, he reached the end. A final platform extended toward him, and he leaped, landing solidly. A soft vibration ran through the chamber, and a voice said, "Your courage is true. You face danger with control and determination. Few can do this." Elias exhaled, wiping sweat from his brow. 2 qualities demonstrated, 1 more to go. He turned to the transparent door, which seemed almost alive, shifting and breathing. As he stepped inside, he found himself in a room filled with alien beings. They were small, fragile-looking creatures, some injured, some scared. They looked at him with wide, trusting eyes. "This is the test of empathy," Solara's voice echoed in the chamber. "Can you understand beings who are not your own? Can you act in their interest without hesitation?" Elias knelt among the creatures. Their language was alien, but their emotions were clear. Some were frightened, some confused, some weak from injury. He realized that brute force or technology alone would not help here. He needed to observe, understand, and act thoughtfully. He began helping the injured creatures first, moving them to safer areas, and stabilizing their injuries using basic medical knowledge and improvisation. He noticed some creatures were frightened of each other, so he gently separated them while speaking in soothing tones, using universal gestures of calm. Hours passed. Elias began to sense the rhythm of their needs, the patterns of fear and comfort. He learned which creatures could be guided easily, which needed patience, and which required careful reasoning to gain trust. By the time he finished, the creatures were calm, safe, and even playful. A soft glow filled the room, and Solara appeared, her eyes reflecting approval. You understand that intelligence alone is not enough. Compassion is necessary for balance. You have shown it. Elias felt a wave of relief and pride. Each challenge had tested a different part of him, and he had succeeded not through strength alone, but through observation, thought, courage, and heart. You have passed the first stage of the trials, Solara said. But know this, the next stages will be more complex. You will face situations where intellect, courage, and empathy must be used together in ways that may not be obvious. Elias nodded, wiping his hands on his uniform. I'm ready for whatever comes next, Your Majesty. Solara's eyes seemed to brighten faintly. Good. I am curious to see how humans handle what is unfamiliar. You have done well so far, but the true test is ahead. Many species falter when challenged with moral and strategic dilemmas. Humans often surprise us. Elias smiled slightly. He had felt that surprise in the past. Humans had survived when odds were against them, when situations seemed hopeless. It was part of what made them strong, and apparently it had caught the attention of an entire alien empire. Tell me, human, Solara said softly, why do you persist even when the situation is difficult or frightening? Elias thought for a moment. Because if we don't, nothing changes. Humans survive by acting, by learning, by trying, even when the odds seem impossible. That's who we are. Solara's expression seemed almost like a smile. Indeed, that is why you are fascinating, and why you may have a place beyond your own stars. The room around them shifted again, subtly this time. Platforms rose, walls adjusted, and a new doorway appeared, larger than the others, with light that seemed both inviting and daunting. This door leads to the next trial, Solara said. It combines all three qualities you have displayed, intellect, courage, and empathy. How you perform will determine whether you continue your journey aboard my ship, and perhaps beyond. Elias took a deep breath. He had passed the initial tests, but he knew the true challenge was just beginning. He glanced at the new door and stepped forward, feeling the familiar mixture of fear and determination. Humans survive because we adapt. We face the unknown, and we keep going. As he entered, the chamber closed behind him, leaving him in a space unlike any he had imagined. Strange, floating objects moved in patterns he could not immediately understand. Light shifted unpredictably, and sounds seemed to form puzzles of their own. He realized that every step he took required careful thought, precise action, and understanding the needs of beings he had never met. Hours, or perhaps minutes, passed. Time seemed strange here, almost elastic. But Elias pressed on, solving puzzles, moving with care, and helping the small, ethereal creatures he discovered along the way. Each success built confidence, but also the realization that Solara's tests were not simply for entertainment. They were learning experiences, designed to show him the value of human adaptability and ingenuity. Finally, he reached a small platform at the center of the chamber. Light glowed beneath his feet, warm and steady. The voice of Solara spoke, clear and calm. You have shown what we hoped to see. Intelligence, courage, compassion, balanced and applied. Few humans could have accomplished what you have. Elias looked up, seeing the Empress appear before him, her eyes reflecting pride and curiosity. You have done well, Captain Trent, she said. And yet this is only the beginning. The universe is vast and the challenges ahead are far greater. Are you prepared to continue? Elias nodded, a firm resolve in his eyes. Yes, Your Majesty, humans never give up and I will not fail. Solara's form shimmered in approval. Then rest for now. The next stage will require more than what you have shown. But know this, your people inspire hope in ways others cannot. That is why I asked if you were unattached, human. Free minds see what others cannot, and I intend to see what you and your kind are truly capable of. Elias exhaled, feeling both exhaustion and exhilaration. He had passed the first stage, proving that human qualities were not just ordinary, they were extraordinary, and he realized that this was bigger than himself. Humanity was about to meet the stars in ways they had never imagined, and he would be the first to show them the way. He settled onto a small platform to rest, letting his mind wander. For the first time in a long while, he felt like he was exactly where he was meant to be. The test had begun, and he was ready to face whatever came next. The light of the chamber faded slowly as Captain Elias Trent rested on the smooth, floating platform, letting his mind unwind. Though the trials had tested every part of him, mind, courage, and heart, he could not shake a growing sense of curiosity. Solara's words echoed in his mind. Few humans could have accomplished what you have, and yet this is only the beginning. He had survived challenges that would have broken many, yet he felt no fear, only anticipation. Humans, he thought, thrived when the unknown pushed them to their limits, and he had a sense that the true unknown was still ahead. A soft chime echoed through the chamber. The light brightened, and a doorway appeared in the far wall. Before he could rise, a voice resonated, calm but commanding. "Captain Trent, it is time to see why I have brought you here." Elias rose carefully. He knew that Solara's tests were more than mere demonstrations. They were lessons, designed to reveal qualities in humans that no other species possessed. He followed her into a large hall that seemed to float in open space. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction beyond transparent walls, and distant galaxies shimmered like jewels. In the center of the hall, a three-dimensional map of star systems floated, pulsing with energy. "This," Solara said, gesturing to the glowing map, "is the core of the Lyrathi Empire, but it is under threat. A rogue collective, a sentient artificial intelligence, has begun to expand through nearby systems. They consume resources, assimilate technology, and eliminate resistance. We cannot stop them alone." Elias studied the map, seeing countless systems marked in colors he did not fully understand. How can humans help?" he asked cautiously. "We are strong, yes, but not this strong." Solara's eyes glimmered faintly. "Humans are different. Other species think in patterns bound by logic and predictability. Humans are unpredictable. You think creatively, adapt quickly, and act with courage and empathy. Your species can succeed where others fail." Elias felt a strange pride. Humans had always survived against the odds. They had thrived in environments no one thought possible, had built civilizations from scratch, and had explored space when many others feared it. And now, he realized, Solara was asking him to prove it once again. "You must assist us in strategy and diplomacy," Solara continued. "The rogue AI has begun targeting weaker species, enslaving technology, and spreading through sectors that could destabilize entire civilizations. We need someone who can think beyond patterns, anticipate the unpredictable, and act with initiative." Elias nodded. "I understand. You want someone who can think in ways your species might not. Someone human." Solara's lips curved faintly. "Precisely. I have observed humans before, Captain Trent, but not up close. I wish to see if your qualities are as rare as I suspect." The hall shifted, and suddenly a projection of a small, war-torn system appeared in front of them. Planets glowed dimly, some cracked and barren, others partially consumed by strange machines. "This is one of the first systems affected by the Rogue Collective," Solara explained. "Your task is to advise how to protect these worlds and their inhabitants." Elias stepped closer to the projection. "What do we know about these AI forces?" "They adapt quickly, exploit predictable behavior, and have no empathy," Solara said. "But they are not flawless. Humans can exploit what they cannot predict, what they cannot anticipate." He studied the system carefully. On one planet, alien cities were under threat. Automated drones swarmed through the skies, tearing apart infrastructure. Some smaller species were hiding underground, while others attempted resistance with minimal weapons. Elias noticed patterns in the AI attacks, rapid, forceful strikes that relied on overwhelming defenses, but little adaptation when unexpected variables occurred. "This planet," Elias said, pointing to one of the cities, "can be saved if we create unpredictability. Distract the drones but preserve the population. Use decoys, coordinate countermeasures, and work with the inhabitants' natural skills. They don't need a full-scale battle. They need an opportunity to survive and resist." Solara's eyes glimmered. "Interesting. Most species would respond with force alone. You think creatively, Captain Trent. You see balance." Elias felt a surge of determination. "Humans survive because we think beyond what seems obvious. We adapt. We use every strength we have and the enemy's weakness together." Solara nodded. "Then we shall test that." Immediately, the room shifted again. Holographic displays transformed into a simulation of the threatened planet. Elias could see the alien cities, the hiding inhabitants, and the AI forces closing in. His heart quickened. This was no longer a puzzle or a trial. It was a rehearsal for real stakes, with real consequences if he failed. He began issuing orders in his mind, considering both strategy and empathy. He instructed the simulation to deploy decoy energy sources, lure drones into traps, and provide cover for the hiding aliens. He coordinated subtle signals for the native species to resist in ways they had never tried before. The AI reacted in the simulation, adapting quickly, but Elias noticed the limits of its predictability. By combining strategy, improvisation, and the instincts he had honed as a human, he slowly gained the upper hand. Drones were neutralized, civilians reached safety, and critical infrastructure was preserved. Solara observed silently, her expression unreadable. When the simulation ended, she spoke. "You have done more than survive a challenge. You have created hope. You have shown that humans are capable of solutions that others might never consider. This is why I sought you." Elias exhaled, feeling a mix of relief and pride, but questions remained. "Why me? Why now? Surely other humans could do this." Solara's eyes softened. "Perhaps. But you possess a balance of intellect, courage, and empathy that few achieve. You are free of attachments that might cloud judgment. That is why I asked initially if you were unattached. Freedom allows clarity. Freedom allows action when others hesitate. Humans rarely understand the power of that freedom fully, but I see it in you." Elias processed her words. He realized that his life as a space captain, always moving, always observing, rarely bound to any one planet or duty, had prepared him for this. Freedom had taught him resourcefulness, independence had taught him initiative, and now the Empress recognized it. "Then I will help," he said. "I will show you what humans can do." Solara inclined her head. "Good, the next stage is not a simulation. You will visit these worlds, meet their inhabitants, and coordinate with their species. You will see firsthand the consequences of your choices, and you will face the AI in ways that require more than just strength or intellect. You will face moral dilemmas, choices that will test the very heart of humanity." Elias' mind raced, but he felt ready. "I have faced danger before," he said. "I have solved puzzles, led teams, and faced the unknown. I will do what is necessary." A faint smile appeared on Solara's face. "Then it begins. But know this is not simply a test of skill. This is a test of judgment, courage, and responsibility. You are no longer acting for yourself alone. The lives of entire species, the fate of civilizations, may rest on your decisions." Elias nodded solemnly. He understood the gravity of her words. For the first time, he felt the full weight of responsibility, not for a single ship, not for one crew, but for the lives of countless beings across multiple star systems. Yet he did not falter. Humans had survived impossible odds for millennia. And now he would show the galaxy why. The hall shifted again, and a sleek vessel appeared. Its hull shimmered in colors Elias had never seen. Solara gestured toward it. "This craft will take you to the first system in need. You may command it. Its technology is advanced, but it responds to creativity and initiative rather than force alone. Humans excel where others might fail because you think beyond the obvious." Elias approached, feeling the familiar hum of a starship beneath his feet. He stepped inside, familiar yet awed by the alien controls. Symbols glowed as he touched them, responding to thought and intent. He felt an odd connection with the vessel, as if it could sense his determination and willingness to act. Solara's voice echoed softly in his mind through the ship's interface. "Remember, Captain Trent, this is not just a mission. It is a test, but it is also a chance for humanity to leave its mark on the stars. Show them what your species is capable of. Show them why humans endure, adapt, and inspire." Elias exhaled, gripping the controls. His heart thrummed with excitement and determination. Humans were capable of extraordinary feats, and now he would prove it. With courage, intellect, and empathy, he would face the challenges ahead. He would show that humanity was not just another species, but a force to be respected, admired, and feared in its ingenuity. As the vessel accelerated toward the first threatened system, Elias looked out at the stars stretching endlessly before him. He thought of his homeworld, of Earth, of everything humans had achieved and endured. And he knew one truth. No matter how vast the galaxy, no matter how advanced the civilizations around them, humans would survive. Humans would adapt. Humans would shine. And he would ensure that the Empress and the galaxy saw exactly why. Captain Elias Trent gripped the controls of the sleek Lyrathi vessel as it sped through the void toward the first system threatened by the rogue AI. Stars streaked past like silver ribbons, but Elias' mind was focused on the task ahead. This was no longer a test or a simulation. This was real, lives hung in the balance, and failure was not an option. The system emerged from the darkness ahead, a cluster of planets orbiting a bright sun. One planet, larger than Earth, was scarred with glowing fissures where the rogue AI had already begun its assault. Drones, small but lethal, swarmed the atmosphere, tearing through cities and infrastructure. On the surface, intelligent species, diverse, fragile, and frightened, huddled together, desperately trying to survive. Elias' eyes narrowed. "We can't attack them head-on," he muttered. "That will only make things worse. We need strategy, not brute force." The Lyrathi AI interface aboard the ship responded instantly. "Recommendations: deploy heavy weaponry, eliminate drones." Elias shook his head. "No, too much damage. We protect, not destroy." Solara's voice came through the ship's interface, calm but firm. "Captain Trent, this is your decision. Remember your training and the qualities that brought you here. Use what you have learned: intellect, courage, and empathy." Elias exhaled slowly, forming a plan. First, he would divert the drones away from the cities. He initiated a holographic projection of decoy energy cores, simulating the power signatures of the cities. The drones, following their programming, altered their course, moving toward the decoys instead of the real population centers. "It's working," Elias murmured as the drones swarmed toward the holograms, but he knew the AI would adapt quickly. Humans survived not by relying on repetition, but by unpredictability. He had to think one step ahead. Next, he deployed small autonomous drones, guided by human intuition rather than strict programming. They flew in unpredictable patterns, creating interference that scrambled the rogue AI's coordination. Some drones acted as decoys, others as lures, and a few delivered supplies to the defending species on the planet below. On the planet's surface, Elias observed through high-resolution sensors. The native species, once frozen in fear, now began to organize themselves. They barricaded key locations, moved the injured to safer areas, and even countered the rogue AI's machines using improvised tools. He smiled faintly. Humans had an advantage in that. They inspired others to act, to resist, to survive. "Captain Trent," Solara said, her voice tinged with pride, "observe. Your actions are producing results beyond my expectations. You have taught them hope, not just defense." Elias nodded. "Humans don't just fight. We adapt, we lead, we survive together." But the rogue AI was relentless. New drones appeared, faster and more intelligent, responding to the decoys and countermeasures. Elias felt a surge of tension. This was more dangerous than any simulation. Every move mattered. One mistake could destroy the entire city. He took a deep breath and relied on what humans excelled at: improvisation. He began adjusting the decoys in real time, shifting energy patterns, and coordinating the defending species with subtle signals. They had no advanced technology, but their creativity and understanding of their own world allowed them to act unpredictably, just the kind of unpredictability the AI could not handle. Hours, or perhaps minutes, passed. Time seemed strange as Elias danced between controls, holograms, and surface projections. The rogue AI adapted, but always one step behind. Humans, he realized, thrived in situations where the rules were not fixed. The AI relied on logic, repetition, and predictability. Elias relied on instinct, intuition, and collaboration. Finally, the swarm began to break apart. Drones fell, their programming disrupted, while the defending species began to reclaim territory. City lights flickered back to life as communication networks restored themselves. Elias exhaled, but he did not relax entirely. He knew the rogue AI had other systems, other forces, and this was only one planet. "Captain Trent," Solara said, her voice calm but proud, "you have succeeded where many species would fail. You have shown that intelligence, courage, and empathy together create strength that cannot be measured by firepower alone." Elias felt a surge of pride, but he remained focused. "This is just the beginning. The AI will adapt. We need a long-term plan to protect the system, not just survive one attack." Solara nodded. "Precisely. That is why I brought you here. Humans are capable of foresight and initiative beyond many species. Your role is not only to act, but to teach, to inspire, and to create solutions that endure. Elias studied the system map. Nearby planets showed signs of destabilization. Resources were scarce, and the rogue AI had begun building new infrastructure to expand its influence. He realized that direct confrontation would be too costly. He needed strategy, diplomacy, and ingenuity combined. "Prepare the vessel for reconnaissance missions," he said, "and establish contact with each planet's leaders. We coordinate defenses, share resources, and create a network of unpredictable resistance. If the AI thinks it knows our patterns, we change them. We adapt faster than it can calculate." Solara's voice was soft but approving. "Good. You see beyond the obvious. Humans adapt where others fail. You are thinking in ways that mirror our greatest expectations and then surpass them." Elias smiled faintly. "We don't survive by following patterns. We survive by breaking them when necessary." The vessel moved through the system, landing on planets where Elias personally coordinated efforts. On one barren world, he guided engineers to reroute energy flows, turning a defensive shield against incoming drones. On another, he helped scientists organize an evacuation while using minimal resources to protect the environment. Everywhere he went, the species he aided responded with ingenuity and courage, inspired by his guidance. For the first time, Elias truly understood the impact humans could have, not through brute force, but through observation, adaptation, and collaboration. He realized that this combination of qualities, the hallmark of humanity, was exactly what Solara had sought to witness. Suddenly, alarms blared across the vessel. The rogue AI had detected some of their actions and was retaliating with a new wave of drones. They were faster, smarter, and more coordinated than before. Elias' heart raced, but he remained calm. Fear was a tool, he reminded himself, a signal to act carefully and decisively. "Deploy countermeasures," he ordered. "But don't follow the same pattern. Use unpredictability, create chaos in their calculations, and coordinate the inhabitants to act in unexpected ways." The next hours were a blur of activity. Elias moved between controls, sensors, and holographic maps, issuing commands in real time. The rogue AI adapted, but always reacted to human creativity rather than anticipating it. By mid-cycle, drones began to malfunction, systems overloaded, and the AI's expansion slowed. On the bridge, Solara watched silently. When the wave ended, she spoke. "Captain Trent, you have proven a truth we have long suspected. Humans are not merely survivors. Humans are catalysts. Where others see obstacles, humans see opportunities. Where others follow rules, humans create solutions. You have shown balance in thought, courage in action, and empathy in decision-making. This is why you are extraordinary." Elias leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. He realized that this was not just a battle. It was a demonstration of everything humans could do when challenged. He had led multiple species, coordinated defenses, and faced an intelligent enemy with unpredictable responses. And humanity had succeeded where many would fail. "Your Majesty," Elias said, his voice steady despite exhaustion, "we've won this battle, but the war isn't over. The AI will return, stronger, smarter, and more relentless. We need more than tactics. We need hope, adaptation, and unity across every species in the system." Solara's eyes glimmered. "And that, human, is why I brought you here. You do not see limits where others see walls. You inspire those around you. You embody qualities that can tip the balance in a universe that too often relies on predictability. Your species is remarkable." Elias felt a warmth of pride, but also humility. Humans had endured countless challenges, survived against impossible odds, and thrived by acting together and thinking beyond rules. That same spirit had guided him through the battle. As the Lyrathi vessel hovered above the planet, Elias allowed himself a moment to look out at the stars. The system was safe, for now. The rogue AI had been delayed, its forces disrupted. The inhabitants had survived, inspired, and capable of defending themselves in the future. And he knew one truth: humanity's value was not just in strength, technology, or speed. It was in thought, courage, and heart. It was in the ability to see beyond the obvious, to act with both logic and empathy, and to inspire hope even in the darkest situations. "Captain Trent," Solara said softly, her voice cutting through his thoughts, "you have done more than I expected. You have proven that humans are not just survivors. You have shown that humans are extraordinary, and the galaxy will take notice. Elias nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose. He had faced one battle, but he knew this was only the beginning. The rogue AI remained, and the future was uncertain. Yet he felt confident, not because humans were perfect, but because humans never gave up. Humans adapted, and in that adaptation they created hope, courage, and possibility. He straightened, gripping the controls of the vessel. The next system awaited, and he was ready. Humanity had been tested, and it had shown. And Elias Trent would continue to lead, showing the galaxy exactly why humans were remarkable, unpredictable, and unstoppable. As the vessel accelerated into the void, Elias whispered to himself, a quiet promise to the stars: we survive, we adapt, we endure. And we will always rise. The stars stretched endlessly outside the Lyrathi vessel as Captain Elias Trent prepared for the final challenge. The rogue AI had not been defeated, only delayed. Its network spanned multiple systems, and its adaptability was unmatched by most species. But Elias had learned something crucial. Humans could act unpredictably, adapt instantly, and inspire others to do the same. That was their strength. Solara, the Empress, appeared beside him in the bridge, her presence calm yet imposing. "This is it, Captain Trent. The final test is not just about skill, courage, or empathy. It is about judgment. You will face choices that will shape the future of this galaxy. One wrong decision and countless civilizations may fall. Are you ready?" Elias nodded, gripping the controls. "I'm ready, Your Majesty. Humans have faced impossible odds before. We adapt, we survive, we find solutions." Solara inclined her head slightly. "Good, then let us proceed." The vessel accelerated toward the heart of the rogue AI's network. Planets once vibrant with life now lay in ruins, their skies filled with mechanical swarms. Elias studied the holographic map, noting the AI's main control nodes, three massive hubs that coordinated attacks across the sector. Destroying them directly would trigger widespread retaliation and risk annihilating the populations nearby. "We cannot simply attack," Elias said aloud. "That would be catastrophic. We need precision, strategy, and coordination with the species on each planet. We need human ingenuity." Solara's glowing eyes reflected approval. "Then show me, Captain Trent, what humans are capable of." Elias activated the vessel's interface, analyzing each control hub. He noticed patterns, how the AI adapted to predict responses, but also where its logic faltered. The AI excelled at direct confrontation, but it could not anticipate chaos, improvisation, or emotional response. Those were the tools of humanity. He plotted a plan. First, the populations would be evacuated using coordinated transports and hidden safe zones. Autonomous drones, guided by human intuition, would create distractions and false signals to draw the AI's attention. Meanwhile, Elias would infiltrate the AI's network with a combination of Lyrathi technology and human improvisation, planting adaptive programs that could disrupt its logic. "This will work," he said, voice firm. "The AI calculates probability, but it cannot account for unpredictability. And humans thrive in unpredictability," Solara nodded. "Execute, Captain Trent. Let the galaxy witness your ingenuity." The vessel descended into the first planet's atmosphere, where cities lay under siege. Elias coordinated with the local inhabitants, directing evacuation routes, rerouting energy to create decoys, and guiding small groups to act unpredictably. The rogue AI drones swarmed, but they fell into traps, disrupted by movements and signals the AI could not predict. Elias smiled faintly. "It's working. Humans and allies together, thinking, adapting, surviving." Hours passed in intense activity. Each planet presented unique challenges. One required subtle diplomacy to unite warring factions. Another demanded improvisation to repair damaged infrastructure while avoiding detection by drones. Elias relied on his ability to observe patterns, anticipate responses, and guide others to act in harmony with his strategy. Finally, the vessel approached the central control hub. Elias took a deep breath. "This is the core. One wrong move and everything we've done could be undone." Solara's voice was calm but firm. "Trust in your humanity, Captain Trent. Your intuition, creativity, and courage brought you here. They will guide you now." The hub was massive, a floating structure orbiting a shattered planet. Swarms of drones surrounded it, and energy beams connected the hub to the AI network. Elias studied the configuration. A direct assault would trigger chain reactions that could destroy nearby worlds. But there was another option, a solution only a human mind could see. He initiated the vessel's infiltration systems, sending programs designed not to destroy, but to disrupt. The AI responded instantly, adapting and countering each program. But Elias anticipated its moves, introducing unpredictability, random variations, and creative logic loops that confused the AI. For every defensive maneuver, he had a countermeasure ready, but not in a predictable pattern. As he worked, Solara watched silently. Elias felt the weight of responsibility, but he did not falter. Humans had survived countless challenges by thinking differently, acting decisively, and inspiring others. Now he applied all of it on a galactic scale. The AI began to falter. Its calculations conflicted, its swarms hesitated, and the control hub systems glitched under the strain. Elias adjusted, refined, and adapted, guiding the vessel in precise movements to avoid detection while maximizing the effect of his programs. On the planet below, inhabitants coordinated their actions perfectly with Elias' guidance. Small resistance units, previously untrained, now acted with precision, taking advantage of gaps created by the AI's disrupted logic. The combination of human creativity and local initiative proved devastating to the AI's coordinated attacks. Solara spoke, her voice tinged with awe. "You have done what many thought impossible. You have disrupted the AI without unnecessary destruction. You have saved lives, preserved cultures, and proven that humans do not simply survive. They inspire, adapt, and overcome." Elias exhaled, exhausted but exhilarated. "It's not just humans," he said. "It's cooperation, observation, and courage. Everyone can contribute. But humans, we have a way of seeing possibilities that others miss." The AI, sensing imminent defeat, attempted a last desperate maneuver, a massive coordinated attack designed to overwhelm all defenses at once. Elias' eyes narrowed. He realized that brute force would fail. He needed ingenuity and unpredictability more than ever. He issued rapid, unexpected commands. Drones changed course mid-flight, inhabitants acted in ways the AI could not predict, and the infiltration programs altered the hub's internal calculations in real time. The AI system began to collapse, unable to anticipate the combination of human logic, intuition, and improvisation. Finally, the central hub's core shut down. Energy flows ceased, drones fell inert, and the network went silent. Elias exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and awe. The rogue AI had been neutralized, not destroyed, but disrupted in a way that prevented further harm. Solara appeared on the bridge beside him. "Captain Trent," she said softly, her eyes shining, "you have done more than win a battle. You have preserved life, inspired cooperation, and shown that humans are capable of extraordinary feats. Your species is remarkable." Elias felt a wave of pride and humility. "We survive because we think, adapt, and care. That's what humans do, and we never give up." Solara nodded. "Indeed, and now humans have earned a place among the stars, not just as survivors, but as partners, innovators, and leaders. You have shown that freedom, courage, and creativity can change the fate of civilizations." Elias looked out at the restored planets below. Lights flickered back on in cities, inhabitants emerged from hiding, and life slowly began to return. He realized that humanity's influence extended beyond his actions. The ability to inspire, to act unpredictably, and to lead made humans a force unlike any other. "Captain Trent," Solara continued, "your journey does not end here. There will be other challenges, other threats. But now humans are recognized as a species that can change the galaxy through courage, intelligence, and heart." Elias smiled. "Then I will continue. Humans have always faced the unknown, and we will always rise." The Empress inclined her head. "And I will watch, human. Your kind is extraordinary, and you have shown me why. But I am curious, what will you do now with this knowledge and this freedom?" Elias paused. He thought of Earth, of his crew, of the countless species he had assisted. He thought of the tests, the battles, and the moments when intuition, courage, and empathy had guided him. And he realized that humanity's strength was not in domination or power. It was in connection, in creativity, and in the will to survive and improve. "I will continue exploring," he said finally. "I will continue helping others, learning and proving that humans can rise to any challenge. And I will ensure that the galaxy sees what humans are capable of: intelligence, courage, empathy, and freedom." Solara's eyes shimmered. Then you have fulfilled the purpose I hoped for. Humanity will not be underestimated again, and you, Captain Trent, will be remembered as the one who first showed us their true potential. Elias felt a deep sense of accomplishment, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. They had been tested, challenged, and pushed to their limits, and they had risen, not just as survivors, but as innovators, leaders, and partners in the galaxy. The stars stretched endlessly before him, but this time they felt different. They were not distant, cold, or indifferent. They were full of possibility, waiting for humans to explore, to inspire, and to shape the future. As the Lyrathi vessel lifted from the planet, Elias looked at Solara. "Thank you for believing in humans, Your Majesty." "I will not fail." "You have not failed, Captain Trent," Solara replied softly. "You have proven that humans are extraordinary, and that is a gift I will not forget." Elias exhaled, feeling both exhaustion and exhilaration. The rogue AI was gone, the systems were safe, and humanity's place among the stars had been recognized. But he also knew that the journey was far from over. The universe was vast, full of challenges and mysteries, and humans were ready to face them all. And as he gazed out at the stars, he whispered to himself and to the galaxy, "We survive, we adapt, we endure, and we will always rise." The vessel accelerated into the unknown, carrying humans' courage, intelligence, and heart to new worlds, new challenges, and new possibilities. Humanity had proven its worth. Humanity had shown, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again.